All right, well, good morning, everyone. I decided I was going to start this up just a hair earlier than scheduled 9 o'clock time. It's Sunday, August 10th, 8:59 a.m. Nobody seems to watch the intro anyway, so we're just going to get rolling here. Great day of baseball yesterday. Should be another great day today. A lot of excellent pitchers on the mound yesterday that kind of highlighted the day. And we're going to look at three of them, I think, a little bit along the way today. Mainly Blake Snell, who finally looked like himself yesterday in his second start back from the IL for the Dodgers. This is a huge development, not only for the Dodgers, but for the whole league, National League, American League, everybody, because if the Dodgers have a healthy Shohei, Yamamoto, Blake Snell, and Tyler Glass now, that's a really good starting point to championship aspirations. They're going to have a dominant pitcher out there with swing and miss stuff in the playoffs, which is what we know it all takes. And so that's what we're going to look at today, but start the day the same way we always start it, which is a little standings checkup. So we head over to the main screen here with a little standings checkup today. We got the Blue Jays 3 games ahead of the Red Sox. Padres ended up walking off the Red Sox last night in a pretty thrilling game that we might take a little look at. Yankees now 5.5. They did win yesterday versus Houston. Toronto has lost 2 in a row to the Dodgers, so no real changes there. Detroit, the lead's down to 5. The lead is now down to 5, folks. It was as high as 12 or 13. I'm starting to worry. Cleveland's playing great. I'm starting to worry a little bit about the Tigers in that division. So we'll see. Houston, only a half game up now on Seattle. Seattle has got it all coming together. We're going to watch a couple at bats in that game probably as well. They're a half game back behind Houston, so that's big. Good morning. Good morning out there. Good morning, Ray. I know it's early here on Sunday. We don't have a lot of people in the building yet, but that's okay. Philly now 4.5 up on the Mets, as the Mets have had a disastrous stretch here, and they've lost 6 in a row, 1 of 9. 1 of 9 in the last 10. And Philly's looking good. They had a nice win last night against Texas. That's what we're definitely going to check up. They ended up beating Degrom with a nice 7th inning. Milwaukee, 5 up on the Cubs. Milwaukee continues to roll 8 in a row, 9 and 1 in the last 10. Cubs did win, but that 5-game lead is starting to look pretty big the way Milwaukee's playing. And the Dodgers back up to 3 up. They've won 2 in a row. They've played a little better. We have some encouraging Mookie signs. And the big thing that I'm going to get into today is Blake Snell and the way he looked. Padres won. Giants, see you later. In the wild card, Yankees still only a half game up on Cleveland. Cleveland's their main competition right now, and I would definitely be worried a little bit about Cleveland. They have a history of sneaking their way in there. Mets 2.5 up on Cincinnati. So that's the main competitor for the last wild card spot at the moment would be the Reds, who I think they do have a little bit of mojo going with their pitching. They have Hunter Green coming back. They've got Chase Burns, who the results haven't been there yet, but the stuff is phenomenal. They've got Andrew Abbott, one of the most underrated pitchers in the league. They got Lodolo coming off a complete game shutout recently. They have the Swiss Army knife. Martinez pitched yesterday and did a nice job. They have good pitching in addition to, really the offense is a one-man show in Ellie. But they have some young guys. They have some good defense. So I wouldn't completely count out the Reds yet in chasing down the Mets. But today, we're going to get started. We're going to look at this guy right here, Blake Snell. He looked as good as he's looked all year since he came back last night. Threw a really nice game against the Blue Jays. We're going to watch it. One thing I want to point out really quick on Blake Snell. Blake Snell, this is the pitch mix. Everybody knows that all his pitches are filthy, and that's what separates him. An elite fastball with really high vert on it with a little bit less horizontal than the average left-handed fastball. And then he's got a very hard bullet sliderish cutter in the yellow dots here in the middle. And then the curveball's those blue dots down to the right, which is a big breaker, very hard, a lot of velo on that breaker. Comes in at 81 with really good movement. But the key to everything for him and what really bought him his second Cy Young is the usage of the changeup. So we'll see it during the game. I'll point some things out, but I just want to note really quick on his changeup shape. It's not your typical shape that people would consider elite. Right now it's got 10 vert on it with 12.6 arm side on the changeup off of a 17.5 vert fastball, 4.7. I think that's the biggest separation there is the horizontal breaks. The fastball doesn't break that much arm side, whereas the changeup breaks 12.6. So that could be something that could be key. But going back to his Cy Young Award winning year, 2 years ago, you can see in 2023, the curveball and the changeup were the big two pitch value pitches here. 17 on the curveball, 14 on the changeup. So it's a great fastball. It's a high release. It's a high release out of Blake, and we'll probably keep checking back in on some data as we go to explain things. It is a high 56-degree arm angle. But let's just get into him, and I'll talk a little bit about why I think he's so dang good and why I think he was worth the money despite some of the criticisms of being a 5-inning pitcher and stuff like that. He's a guy that I would have wanted to sign if I had World Series aspirations. So Blake Snell, it's a 5-inning outing, but it's dominant. So let's go ahead and watch it. We'll watch the decision pitches, and we'll go back and watch some sequences if we need to.
Go 6 innings.
First strikeout of the game. Not a curveball. There's that curveball. Both of his breaking pitches are huge whiff pitches. His curveball coming in at 82.4. Now, from the high release, one of the things that you're going to benefit on with the high release is an ability to not have to pop your ball up out of your hand. If you watch Snell, there's not really any hump to that. Comes out, you could easily be mistaken that that's a high fastball, right? You don't see any immediate bounce, and then it just stays on that plane until it starts heading downhill because of the top spin. So that's the first thing I want to point out is how the high arm slot, we've talked a lot about low arm slots giving guys more pitch options, but how this high arm slot, it really does a great job of holding deception for that curveball. So that's lesson number one on Blake Snell, is he's not going to pop anything up out of the hand, which is nice. Here's the second strikeout. And second out of the game, and it's a fastball. Again, 97, so way above average velo for a lefty. Pretty good ride to it at 16 here on the hop. 6.9, which is actually more extension than you would think by looking at the delivery, with kind of what seems to be a shorter stride. But Blake's a big, tall guy, and you can see how this ball just stays on plane above the zone. Now, you could easily, this is the same type of action where the curveball came out of. So it's almost impossible to differentiate two pitches with totally different movements in the first 10 to 15 feet. And that's one of the reasons why he's so dominant. All right, let's see how he gets this third out. It is Vlad Jr.
4 for 11 against his changeup. He's throwing it more than ever. Bouncing ball to third.
It's the fastball down, gets him to beat it in the ground, and it's a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning, which is what Snell was looking for. Before I forget, today's coffee, we switched to Lenny's blend, but it's still from the Serene bean in Pincrest, California. So this is a new blend. Honestly, might even be better than the last one. These coffee beans have been outstanding. So anyway, we'll hop to the second inning, and Bo Bichette is going to get him with the curveball.
Did he go? He did. Home plate umpire DJ Rayburn.
Guys have a really hard time laying off, and again, you watch the trajectory out of the hand. No hump whatsoever. Looks like a fastball. Hits the deck.
Home plate umpire.
He is an absolute strikeout machine.
With Clayton,
and
with
here,
Blake.
So 3 of the first 4 are curveballs as he throws another 3-2 banger there to Kirk. Also notice the location on all these curveballs. They've all been underneath the zone. That's where you want to be with the curveball. You want to sell it like it's going to be in the zone, and then it drops below. So Blake Snell, 3 of the first 4 strikeouts are curveballs. Here's the first hit he allows. It's a double to Ty France. This one is also a curveball.
Yesterday, 6 out of his last 8.
This one just doesn't quite get to the spot. So same pitch, different location, different result. So the shape here didn't really matter of the pitch. It's just the fact that it doesn't get low enough, and Ty France can do a good job. Has a nice approach against Blake Snell. No point in trying to go bridge all the time, trying to go deep. Just hit line drives and you get rewarded, and that's what Ty France does there. But he comes back to punch out Dalton Varsho, showing elite velo here with 98 as value. 98.5. It's crazy from a lefty, crazy from a starter lefty. This pitch has got friggin' hair on it. And that's another thing of it. Another part of it too is you got to look fastball. All his best pitches are off-speed pitches, but you got to look fastball when you're facing Blake Snell, because he throws so dang hard. So that's what velo does for you, in my opinion, more than anything. It kind of sets the pace and forces people to look at your fastball, which will make your other pitches play up. So let's just go really quick and look at his Stuff Plus models. Now, I'm going to ignore everything from this year because he was hurt when he pitched early in the year, so none of that is real. But if we go look at last season and the season before, you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about. It thinks the curveball is his best pitch, and the changeup being his second best pitch at 108 from last season. And to me, those are the two pitches that have taken him to the next level. It's a nice slider. It used to be his best pitch back in the day for the Rays. Now the slider's just okay, and this fastball is a lot better than this 89 value. It's trust me, it's a lot higher than that because that was when he was hurt. So let's just imagine he's up closer to league average on fastball shape. But he also has very good location, which is something that he's been docked for in the past. People say, oh, he has a walk rate issue because of his command. When I think he has a walk rate issue because he's so nasty. And a lot of guys don't put the ball in play in him, and they foul a lot of pitches off, which gives him more chances to eventually walk you. So to me, that's his walk rate problem. It's not that he has a lack of command and location. I think he's fine with that. And you'll see what I'm talking about in this video. Let's see. Pitching bot has him a little better. It has his fastball as way above average at 63. Has the slider below average, curveball way above average, changeup above average, 50 being average on their model. All right, so let's go back to the third inning. As he had a pretty nice first 2 innings, 1 hit. So ground rule double. Looks like it's going to be on the changeup.
He's worked the full count, waits on the 8th pitch from Snell. Hooks one towards the left field corner. That is a fair ball.
Just a 3-2 changeup, left a little too up in the zone to Buddy Kennedy. And he shoots it down the line for a leadoff double. So let's see how he gets out of that. Miles Straw. Going to get him with the heater and see if he goes up with it. High target. High execution.
Finishes him
Beautiful.
off his 6th strikeout.
For the first out, then he's going to walk Schneider. He won't give in. This is another part of his strategy. 3-2 changeup here.
That's in the dirt.
Kind of guides it a little bit. Maybe didn't like the footing on the mound, but either way, he wasn't going to give in with the open base because he knows he always has strikeouts in his pocket. And here's an example of that. Ernie Clement is going to get him with the changeup. So here's his first punchy with the changeup. And this is an important thing that I wanted to show. All right, so changeup right here. Here's the metrics on it. 9.8 vert, which is considered pretty high amount of carry for a changeup. Most organizations are switching orientations on the ball to more of a two-seam shape, trying to force drop on changeups so guys can get closer to 0. This number being 0, which means it would have heavy amount of drop on it. And the thought process is you want to have as much vertical separation from your four-seam fastball as you can to your changeup. So it's really hard to cover both of those with a similar bat path. And I think that's okay, but I also think a lot of guys end up getting into a habit of maybe dropping their slot a little bit to achieve that instead of maintaining their fastball hand path and arm path and then letting the grip take over. And with his arm action, being that he's so high at, what did we say it was, 63 degrees? 56 degrees, being that he's so high at 56 degrees, he's not going to be able to really do much to get to near 0 line. So instead of chasing it, they decided that really it's more about sequencing and location. Now, one thing that we did mention that his changeup does have relative to his fastball is this horizontal break number right here, 12.5. Let me just grab a red here, 12.5. Hold on. Yeah, 12.5 right here. So the fastball is more around 3 or 4. So the fastball is looking like it's boring in on you this way, and then the changeup deviates a little bit off that. And I also think he's able to pop it out of the hand the same way as the fastball. See, there's that same trajectory, just like the curveball, just like the fastball. So it's an excellent tunnel in terms of the way it appears out of the hand. And then the whole key for him is just to locate this ball away to a righty, either along the line or anywhere below and away. Because he's trying to sell you, hold on, let me grab a different color. He's trying to sell you that this pitch is coming here, because the same trajectory of a pitch, of a changeup that would end in the red, if it was a fastball, it would end in the yellow. So all he has to do is sell you on a pitch coming middle, and then get you to chase something away. And the speed differential is also key here, and we'll take care of a lot of that. Because he is at 85.6 on the changeup, and you can see even in this at-bat, he didn't throw him any fastballs in that bat, wow. But his fastball's been like 96, 97, so it's a 10-mile-an-hour difference. And really, when he leaned into his changeup usage, his numbers really crept up. And I think that led to his second Cy Young. So there's a strikeout. We can look at that in a second, but let's see how he finishes this inning. Actually, it's another changeup here to Vlad. Once again, it's a location thing. Gets that changeup down and away. He does hit it hard, but he can't lift this ball. Just a dead fish. Good swing by Vlad. And yeah, right after a 97.7 mile an hour fastball, 86. So almost 11 mile an hour difference. So sometimes you want a movement difference, sometimes you want a speed difference, sometimes you want both, but you got to have one of the two because you got to use your fastball as bait if your changeup's going to work. Or you have such good movement on your changeup that you can just throw it as the primary, like an Edward Cabrera or Tommy Kahnle. But that's not what he's doing here, and that's a different style. Really quick, though, I did want to go look back in time for a second at his pitch usage, which kind of can identify to you where the changeup started becoming more of a factor. So in 2021, mind you, he already had a Cy Young at this point. 2021, he was off. He was kind of down on his changeup, down to 9.8%, and that continued into 2022, 5%. Then in 2023, he wins the Cy Young, and a lot of this was in the second half, and you can see how it all started to creep up together. 18.4 inches, 18.4% on the changeup in 2023. Actually 0 to lefty batters, but it really helped his righty approach and actually became his primary pitch besides his fastball. His second best pitch, most used pitch to righties in 2023. And since then, he's kept it going. 17.5% on the changeup last year, and this year he's up to 23.6. So the value of the changeup for him has been huge, despite it not having any type of elite movement on it. All right, we're going to go to the fourth inning. Another out on a changeup. And again, it's driven by another out on a changeup driven by location. All right, Arch, you want to come? We got the kid. We got the kid in the house today. He's going to watch us get a couple outs here. So that was a line out. Let's watch. So he walks Alejandro Kirk. And that's, that's one of the knocks on him is the walks, but he has shown a propensity to bounce back, and here's another one on a changeup. Perfectly located. Nice catch by Dalton Rushing. And so now that you can see how early in the game it was the curveball. He's shown the ability to go 97, 98 with the fastball in this game, and then he's placing that changeup in that down and away quadrant all day long, right down in here. Yeah.
Got him looking with the change.
Beautiful job.
Feathered in there.
So that was 2 outs. He ends up walking Varsho again, just refusing to give in when he falls behind, and then that sets him up for another strikeout. Let's see what he gets Kennedy on. Another changeup.
There they go. Here it comes. Swing and a miss.
Gets him away with it. Beautiful. And another changeup with interesting movement. 13.8 vert, so it's a very lifty changeup. Pretty good run for him. And let's see if there was any fastballs that were set up. Yep, right here. Let's see where this fastball was. See if this helps inform the chase.
2 out, 2-1.
Yeah, absolutely. If you throw a fastball down, then you're going to do a really good job with changeup down. You want me to give him back? All right, here you go, pal. Okay. So again, locking in the ability to throw a fastball down for a strike like he does here is going to set up this pitch 2 pitches later, which is going to end up down here and get the swing.
Here it comes. Swing and a miss.
Ends up over here. But either way, he has to swing at the fastball. He's on fastball timing, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So I feel like the changeup has been a huge development. Obviously, the curveball, you can see why that's special. Comes out of the same slot and then just hits the deck like an anchor. But the changeup holds that deception even longer, and it's 10 miles an hour slower. So really, he's got a lot of ways to get you out, and it would be tough for me to go up there with any approach but to look for the fastball. And the reality is, he doesn't really want to throw you his fastball when the chips are down as good as it is. All right, so we go to the 5th, another strikeout, another changeup.
Home of the 1-2 to Straw.
Another perfect location, down and away. This is sort of similar to Skubal's approach. Now, Skubal has more of the drop on his changeup, but again, it's all about the location here. So that's the first out of the 5th. Here's the second out on a changeup. And this just kills righties. He's able to throw the fastball in, speed you up, change up away. It works for contact. It works for whiff. Let me just pause it real quick so I can show you a little bit about what he wants to do with different colors. All right, so we'll say that the red is fastball. He wants to throw his fastball over here to a righty and make you have to cheat to get to it, make you have to open up early. That will allow him, and he's okay missing throughout the middle here, but generally he wants to be in this region with the fastball. Now on the changeup, we'll use blue for changeup. He wants it to be all here and below. And then on the slider, he wants everything to be in here for chase and below. And then on the curveball, if he feels like he's got you slowed down enough, we'll use green for that. He wants all that to be down here. So when he's throwing you strikes, he wants to speed you up with fastballs up and in, drop his off-speed pitch in the lower part of the zone, and use all this area for chase with the variety of pitches, depending on your reaction. So that's the Blake Snell approach. And it's pretty tough because he's throwing 98 as well. All right, so he got Schneider to fly out. Now he's going to give up a hit to Ernie Clement on a changeup. Looks like they're going to the changeup heavy at this point in the game.
Lines one into left and a 2-out hit.
And what was the mistake here? Pretty obvious mistake. Got into a bad count, 2-0. But he also threw this ball in a much more hittable spot.
In the American League on the year.
Pulls it
Lines
in
one into left and a 2-out
that ball gets
hit.
to the corner. It might be a rollover. And now he just needs to get his last out of the game, and it's Vlad for the third time. This time he actually gets the out with the fastball. Notice the target, and it's a jam sandwich.
Got it.
So yep, that lines up with what I was just talking about. Here's the target. He's gotten Vlad out with changeups and breaking balls all down and away from him, so his energy is now he's in dive mode. And then this pitch is going to run in on him, and Vlad gets jammed. Has to kind of pull his hands in, even though this is a pretty good pitch to hit, not if you're looking away and soft. And so Vlad gets jammed, only 70 miles an hour off the bat. And that's another way that Blake Snell's nastiness is effective.
For their last 18 with...
So that's pretty much what I got on Blake Snell. He looked great. He only went 5 innings, 90 pitches, kind of a Blake Snell outing. But who would you want in the playoffs? Would you want the innings eater who gives up a lot of hits, grinds through it, 7 innings, 3 runs, so you're not going to trust anyway in the playoffs? Or you rather the guy who's got a shot to completely shut your team down, whether you put 8 righties in there or not, for like 5, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts or more? I think it would be Blake Snell. I think that would be the guy that I would want. And that's part of the reason why I think the Dodgers signed him, because they have every expectation of being in the dance in the playoffs. And this is a guy you're just going to need. 180 innings in his Cy Young year a couple years ago with 4.95 walks per 9. So yes, that is a high number, but I just think a lot of it is just the hits, man. He just doesn't give up hits. He's very, very hard to square up. I wonder if we can see any of that when we look at some of his rankings. Yeah, expected batting average. As a starter, these are crazy metrics. Usually a lot of times when you're really high up, it's because you're in a small sample like a reliever, but he's facing the lineup multiple times. And every single year of his career, he's been above average in expected batting average, if not in the top not in the top 20-ish percentile. Like, he's been really, really good. Same with slugging. Getting that chase rate up's been big for him because guys do tend to whiff a lot, and a lot of guys are going up there trying to walk because they know they can't hit him. I just think he's one of the nastiest pitchers in the league, and he should be treated that way. And this is a huge thing for the Dodgers getting him back, because really they didn't sign him for the regular season. They signed him to pitch well down the stretch and into the postseason. And this could flip the whole division. The Padres have been coming on heavy, but Blake Snell has also been coming on heavy. Yeah, Sporer, good comment. I agree. Totally perfect timing here for the Dodgers. So let's see what we got on the list. That was the big thing right there. And now I want to look at the damn Milwaukee Brewers, who just can't seem to lose. It's really frustrating because I'm not the biggest fan of everything that they do. Let's see if I can Statcast hitting by barrels, and Milwaukee still has the least amount of barrels in the league, 195 barrels. It's insane. By ex-WOBA, they are not as bad, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth from the bottom. Ninth from the bottom, and yet they have the best record in baseball. I know they have excellent pitching, but you got to have both facets of the game working if you want to win. They did beat the Mets last night in what was a crazy inning, marked by good fortune and taking advantage of your opportunities, which is what they seem to do. So I'll give them credit for taking advantage of their opportunities. Let's go Milwaukee and the Metros. So this inning started with my buddy Stanek on the mound. Mets were currently in the lead at this moment. And let's see how this inning goes. Bryce Terang leading it off. Fastball down. Mets with a 1-run lead here in the 7th. Stanek, obviously we all know, 97, 100 miles an hour. Pretty good splitter. More of a lefty matchup guy. That's a good take off of a very good splitter. And that take became big because that allows him now to stay on the heater. And he kind of blocks it off into left for a leadoff hit. Now the Brewers are very much reminiscent to me of like the 2010 through 2014 San Francisco Giants, where it wasn't an explosive offense, but it was kind of a rally style offense. And once they got something going, they were probably going to cash it in. They could smell blood in the water, and they could really focus when it mattered. So here's the second batter. Looks like he gets a line out here from Durbin. 100 miles an hour up. Ball. Again, they have good at-bats. They grind you down. Fastball down. Good catch by Alvey. And here comes the out on a slider, which is a pitch that I don't think Ryan should be throwing that much. But he does get lucky with the line out to Lindor. And now that brings up Joey Ortiz.
Resulted in an error that led to the first 2 runs.
Heater middle taken all the way. Heater up. He's nice and late. I think I would stick with the heater. He does. Let's see if he makes a mistake with the location. He does. This is also very unfortunate. Perfectly bounces on the foul line, drops in for a ground rule double. And when you're hot, and the Brewers are hot. This is not what Stanek wants to do, but this is still unlucky. This is 70 miles an hour, 35 degrees. And he clearly jams Joey Ortiz here. He thinks it's a foul ball. Maybe we can quickly see what the expected average was on this yesterday. Let's see. Exit velocity. We need to do this reset thing. Okay, and then we need to find Ortiz. Joey Ortiz off Stanek. That was you know what? 720 expected batting average. So sometimes it pays to get jammed and hit it into no man's land. So lucky but unlucky. I mean, good pitch, but also didn't get the strikeout. You had 0-2. You got to give him a chance to swing at a ball, and you got to get the whiff here. Contact is actually your enemy in this situation, and this is why. A little blooping down the line. So now the Brewers are in business. Second and third. 1 out. Tying run on third. Winning run on second. Sal Frelick up. They leave him in for this matchup. And he ends up getting him to hit a weak split where they go on the contact play and they score the tying run. This is a good at-bat. Now Stanek, again, he's looking for a strikeout here, and this is not very good location. This ball pops up and away, allows Sal to kind of chop at it. They do have the infield in. But let's watch the anticipation on the high home. No hesitation at all from the runner on third, Terang, whose speed is a factor in this moment. This is why speed matters too. As you can see, the Mets have the infield in. They're all in. This ball's going to come to Lindor, but he doesn't have enough time. Number one, the ball kind of chops slowly. This ball's only hit at 72 miles an hour. But also, let's watch. Hold on, let me switch the color here. Let's watch our runner right here, Terang, get an excellent jump off the bat. So by the time Francisco fields it, yes, if he makes a perfect throw at this moment, he's a dead duck. However, Stanek is kind of in the way, so there's a slight hesitation there by the Mets, whereas there was no hesitation by the Brewers. And honestly, I'm not sure if a perfect throw gets him either. He covers that last little bit of space really fast. But you can see from the center field broadcast how this was a little bit of a tricky throw by Lindor. Stanek is completely in the way at this moment right here, and I think that's what he sees. So just an unfortunate situation, but again, the Brewers, they take advantage of that, and that only continued because Mets sloppiness eventually led themselves to a huge inning. So Mets decide to go ahead and bring Helsley in. Helsley's the guy that they got in the trade. This is the secret weapon now of the Mets is they have a super pen. They can bring a guy like Helsley in this situation to kind of shut it down. A little surprised they didn't go to him earlier, given that he strikes out more guys than Stanek, but we have 2 outs and a man on third for this at-bat, where Stanek just straight up brings the noise. 101, swing and miss. 102, and he's looking really shaky up there with a choppy swing, so they decide to go up with it. But I actually think down might have been the play with the way that the swing was. So a really nice foul job here by Collins on a 103-mile-an-hour pitch. And then this one's 104, 103.8 to be exact. But even faster. He stays alive. So that earns himself a slider attempt. Helsley pulls off that, and that's kind of useless. And now if you're the hitter, what are you going to look for? You're going to stay on the fastball. And even though it's 103, he gets it. He's able to slap it in play. Mauricio lets the ball play him. Gets kind of the in-between hop, and the Brewers take the lead. So now it's a one-run lead, being opportunistic. Good job with putting the ball in play. Good job with the contact play. Mendoza hates it, which is kind of funny. And that ends up getting you to this at-bat, which was insane. William Contreras.
So we started over. And Contreras.
So here's the first thing that happens. We just saw the home run, but here's the first thing that happens. This was actually ruled a pitch clock timer violation, as Contreras was all over the first pitch, hitting it 105-2 to right. So typically this would have been his only shot at hitting this fastball, and he did a good job of timing it up, but just misses this ball and flies it out to right. However, he's reborn due to a pitch clock timer. As you can see, the umpire's giving it right there. I don't know who messed this up, Helsley or Alvarez, but this would have been the third out of the inning. So they just got the out on the fastball, and Contreras just does a great job of staying mentally locked in. Helsley throws another fastball, and I said he had just missed it. This time he does not just miss it. He's a little bit quicker to the ball. He puts it into left center. Huge home run, back-breaking home run. This is a lot of what's been going on with both of these teams. One team sees a crack in the door, and they swing the door right open, and they run right through it, and they take advantage of it. That's the Brewers. The other team sees an opportunity to fold and to make a mistake, and seems like they run right towards that, and that's the Mets right now. A lot of Mets fans in Milwaukee were devastated by this home run, and this was just a huge play in this game. Let's watch Contreras from the side, as he was so on time for this fastball. And it was actually a big gift that he was able to hit a ball in play that he quote-unquote just missed, and then get another crack at it here. So let's see it. And he's just so on time. He stays so short. He just turns the shoulders. Foot goes forward, hands go back. And actually, he starts with them pretty far back. Foot goes forward, hands go back. And then he just gets the point of contact out front. Launches it for a game over. He only hit that 99 too. But back spun it to left center. And needless to say, that kind of ended the game. That buried the Mets. And the Brewers ran through the front door and found another way to win. They've won so many games recently. Their record is just insane now. Milwaukee now sitting at, I believe, 71, 72 and 44. And they're the best team in the big leagues by a lot right now. They're doing it with unbelievable pitching. Their defense, their speed, and their bullpen especially has been lights out. And they've pieced it together in the starting staff. But man, they are so opportunistic. They take advantage of every little mistake you make, and that's what I wanted to show there. And it's another tough loss for the Mets, but that's how it goes sometimes. All right, solo shot for a second as we figure out what we're going to look at next. So I have written down. I have Phillies rally versus Degrom, which we should watch for a second in the 7th, and then maybe a quick look at the rookie Hurston Waldrep. There was also some Mariners homers that we might want to watch really quick. All right, let's go to the Phillies versus Degrom yesterday. So Phillies Rangers. Now Degrom was shoving in this game, and he was maybe going to be my lead topic as he got through 6 really, really smoothly. But then it all kind of fell apart in the 7th, and I just want to watch how this kind of played itself out. Now, interestingly, Rob Thompson decided to not play Castellanos in this game. He's been somewhat of an Iron Man. He's only had like 1 or 2 days off this whole year. But with Degrom on the mound, and he wanted to get everybody 1 day off this series, he decided to go with Kepler, Bader, and Marsh as the outfield. And those 3 guys were all in this inning and all were kind of the reason why they won this game. So first, we'll just watch the first out of the 7th as he gets a Real Muto fly out. Fastball up, can't get to that.
Popped up.
That looked like it had crazy vert. Yep, 18 vert with great extension. And Jake was absolutely feeling it at this point. But here's where it all kind of falls apart. Brandon Marsh is going to single on a curveball, which to me is a little bit of a weird choice. Jake's clear 4th pitch ends up burning him here. Marsh rolls it into the hole for a hit. Bader is going to work a walk here, which I think is fascinating because this is probably the guy you need to go at if you're Jake. Looks like Bader's using a little bit of a hand movement to try to activate the hands. See the way Bader, Bronxville's finest here. Anyway, he works the walk, a 3-1 slider by Jake. Not typically what you would expect in that spot, but that leads to big trouble, and let's watch this whole at bat. It's 2 pitches with Max Kepler. Comes right at him with 98 away. I think if you're the pitching, you're kind of reading that he might be on time there. So he's going to go to the slider back door, pulls it down and in to the danger zone. Kepler line drive in the corner. And the Phillies are doing the merry-go-round. 2 fast runners, Marsh. Here comes Bader. He's in there, and just like that, the game completely flips. The choice to start Kepler really comes back in a good way for Rob Thompson. So it's a double there. And that was big. They ended up adding a 3rd run. He did get another out. Then Coulomb came in. Stott got this hit. That made it 3 runs. So Degrom ends up with 3 runs here. And the Phillies flip the entire game. They take the lead. They're able to go to their bullpen, which, looks like, Yohan Duran. We can watch the strikeout here on this 89-mile-an-hour knuckle curve to Jock. And this is a dimension that the Phillies didn't have a week ago, which is if they have the lead, they have a pretty scary couple guys to close it out, and it'll be even better when D-Rob gets up there, as I know he's getting ready in Lehigh Valley. So that was the rally off of Degrom. Just some curious pitch choices there, going with a curveball ahead in the count to Marsh, and then backdoor slider off of fastball away, pulled down into Kepler. I don't know. I'd like to see him go up and in a little more there, but again, sometimes you live and you learn, and sometimes you got to give credit to the hitters. They did a nice job in that spot. So I thought that was a fun thing to look at. And then what else do I have? I wanted to check up on the rookie Hurston Waldrep for a little bit, just get an idea. He's like the number 4 prospect for the Braves. This was his 2nd career start, and I want to just get a look-see at this guy. Where is it? Braves, Marlins. Must have been in this game. Hurston Waldrep, and we'll just watch a couple strikeouts. And we'll just see what we can see. Okay, so he's going to finish Xavier Edwards with a split.
Good week here in Atlanta, but not there. It is the
wow, a lot going on in this delivery in terms of a intent standpoint.
He's having a good week here in Atlanta,
and it definitely is a high arm angle. Let's see how he gets Stowers, one of my favorite players coming out of this year, also a split. So far it's looking like the put-away pitch to lefties might be the split. Ooh, that's nasty. Only 759 RPM, so that's a true split. He's definitely forking the ball very, very wide with the fingers. Very, very wide, kind of choking it, and it's kind of shooting out and knuckling a little bit on the way in. That's why it has such low spin. You see 759 RPM right here. That's very, very low. So that ball is almost like, it's a very loose spin, almost like a knuckleball spin. That's going to aid to the drop. All right, so before we keep going, why don't we just pull up Waldrep for a second? Curious to see. Well, I don't want that. I want it on StatCast. My bad. Hurston Waldrep. So he's throwing from 57. So he's just as high as Blake Snell was before, who was, I believe, 56 or... Yeah, so very high arm action. Split is the primary pitch, which is interesting. Split and sinker from a high arm action. So those are just unique. Curve makes sense. Cutter, 93, so it's probably pretty hoppy. And then he doesn't throw very many fastballs. 7% four-seamers. So it's a kitchen sink attack from a very high release. The results have been good so far. 2 games, 1.54 ERA through the first 2 starts. First 2 games. What else do we want to see? See if there's a way I can look at his... Looks like he might have had a few games last year. But anyway, 95.6 on the sinker. 93.9 on the four-seam, and the split is the big pitch for this guy. Yeah, he did debut a little bit last year, but he's looked good so far this year. Yeah, the split's been nasty so far. 50% K rate at this point. Very unique little split here, and he's able to cover a lot of this clock. Now, this clock shows all of the movement. And if you can cover the whole thing, that's crazy, because then you have movement going in every direction. And he's covering a lot of that, so that's a very nice job. All right, so it looks like the split is the primary pitch. Let's watch some of these other strikeouts, see if they're all on split. So this is the third one, indeed, on split.
Pitch. Another strikeout.
Nasty. Liam Hicks. Let's see what he gets him on.
Angry,
sinker.
like, hey, come on, I'm a freshman
see what the
in high
sinker
school
looks
here.
like.
Yeah, I could see Wiley
So
out
it's
there
more of a
doing it.
runner. Still got a. It's not really a true sinker, and I think that's an arm angle thing. You have a little bit too high of an arm angle to generate real sink, but it's a runner. As you can see, this pitch tails out to the right. So it's a strike ball fastball
Out there doing it.
with good velo. Let's see Jacob Marcy.
Younger teams
This
get
is
that
a
new
split.
generation of players if maybe that swing
Set up
percentage
right
goes
down the
a
middle.
little bit.
Let it work.
We'll get a good field next
Even
year.
though this ball almost looks like it cuts in a little bit, because sometimes these splits with really low spin rate, they have a mind of their own. They behave like knuckleball. That's a really nice pitch. And then my buddy Troy Johnson's going to also get a split.
5 scoreless
Nasty.
innings.
Even when he
6
pulls it,
strikeouts.
it's dropping off the table. So anyway, that's a little quick look at Waldrep. Maybe we should look a little bit at some delivery from the side. See what we got on this kid. All right, so the little traditional over the head into the bounce with the good drift. Sweeps the leg. Lands the foot, and he's really extended back. I mean, look at the flexibility on this trunk. I think a lot of people need to realize that if you can't really like stretch yourself wide open, you're missing out on a lot of velo. And then wham, comes over the top with a pretty stiff front leg. Again, it's very high over the top delivery, so there's a lot of lean in there. But that's 97 miles an hour. 6'3" extension's about average, so that's what we're working with. Waldrep, fun guy to watch. All right, now maybe let's quickly look at the Mariners. There's a couple homers I want to check out. I think they played the Rays. So we can do that really quick, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Seattle and the Rays. I think we had 2 Julio bombs. Yeah, let's watch the 2 Julio at-bats.
Really
This
good
kid's been
start
hot.
against the Dodgers. 5
Joe Boyle,
straight
101
straight
mile an hour 4-seam. So
And I asked him,
this is a tough matchup for anyone from a stuff perspective. This guy brings it.
0-1 to Julio.
100 up, 100 up. Here comes the 93 mile an hour slider. Let's see how he looks on this. That was probably a strike, but again, good take. And then 4-seam doesn't quite get it high enough, and he's on time. 109 to dead center with good backspin. That's just a beautiful swing. Julio's hot right now. Look at this swing. Man, such a good follow through on the finish. That high, the way he finishes this tells me that he's creating good backspin on the ball. But this is a quick move. Wham! So there's the first homer. Let's watch the second homer. This one, it's going to be the slider. So he homered on the fastball the first time, and slider the second time. This is a linear to left. Just sneaks it out. 113.4 is wide though. So again, Julio showing off the amazing raw talent. Just stupid bat speed. And he's able to pull a line drive to left that sneaks out. So 2 homers for him. There's also a Cal Raleigh homer. What else is new? This guy just hits nukes. He gets him on a 100 mile an hour 4-seam.
Goes after the first pitch.
Ooh, using the other way, which is a little bit new for Cal, but 107.3, elite. Exit velo, down and away. Look at that launch position, stays through it. So the Mariners are rolling. This is a team that I really love right now. They're rolling. I think they have a good shot as anybody to win the American League West, and then I wouldn't want to see them in the playoffs with their pitching. They're actually moving up my list. We'll see where I have them on Friday when I go over my current teams that I think have a shot to win the whole thing. They might sneak in there. So those are the 2 homers I wanted to watch there. Yankees had a nice win yesterday. We can quickly watch Trent Grisham's homer, as he won the game. He was the game winner for the Yanks. Let's watch Trent, as he is so smooth. He's been so big for the Yankees. Let's watch this whole at bat versus left on left versus Brian King. First pitch heater in. So 2 outs, nobody on. I mean, this is, you're going to take your shot with count leverage for hitting the dinger in this spot.
A lot more swing and misses.
Now heater away. Trent's tough to read. Tough guy to know what he's looking for. I have to say that. Also very patient. That's a good take. So 3 fastballs to open the at-bat. Gets kind of quick pitched on the sweeper. Doesn't like it. Luckily for him, King kind of pulls it out. He's pissed, telling the umpire I wasn't ready. But I think he can eliminate. He's going back to the fastball. Yep. And here it comes. And there it goes. 107.3 dead pull into the second deck. Yankee Stadium. That's a game winner. Grisham, man. Way to lock back in after being pissed off. And let's watch it from the side. This kid's been so valuable for the Yanks. Fired up. Doesn't take much. He's just on time for the heater. Gets the barrel out there. And man, who would have thought Trent Grisham would be 22 home run guy, 21 home run guy sitting here in early to mid-August. So great win for them. I think that's it for all the different games today. So from yesterday, I think we looked at some good stuff. Definitely Blake Snell was, to me, the big takeaway from the day, because that adds to the potency of that Dodger team, and that's going to shake up the whole league, if not just the NL West and the NL. All right, today, it's big Sunday. Obviously, everybody plays on Sunday, so a lot of games today, mostly day games. Ryan Bergert and Jose Urena at 105 in Minnesota. Bergert, I want to say he might have just got traded from maybe the Padres. I don't know. Luis Morales and Cade Povich, A's and O's. Zach Littell, Mike Burrows, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Cincinnati looking to chase down the Mets. Cal Quantrill, Joey Wentz in Atlanta. Jason Alexander, Max Fried. Max Fried looking to get back in the win column. This is a huge game for the Yankees. Win the series. Feel good about themselves going into the next one. Josh Koshanowitz and Casey Mize. Tigers need to get going. That leads down to 5. It's getting hairy. Slade Ciccone, Davis Martin from U.S. Cellular, I believe. The White Sox, old Comiskey, new Comiskey, I don't know. And then the Mets and the Brewers, Manaea and Priester. Mets need this one really bad. Priester's been carving through everybody lately. Manaea trying to get the Mets starting staff back on track. This could be a tough game for hitters. There's a lot of crazy shadows in Milwaukee in day games because they have the windows on the side. So you get a lot of periods of darkness, light, and it's just kind of weird. So Manaea might shove given the conditions. Wheeler and Corbin, Phillies at Rangers. So this is definitely advantage Phillies as they continue to roll. But Rangers been playing pretty good as well, so we'll see. Mackenzie Gore and Verlander. Verlander's been looking a lot better his last few starts, so we'll check in on that. Tanner Gordon, Brandon Pfaadt, Rockies, Diamondbacks, and we have a nice matchup again. This has been a great series. Red Sox and Cease rubber match. Brian Bello versus Dylan Cease. This has been an excellent series thus far, and a pretty good matchup on the mound. Adrian Hauser and Brian Wu. This is actually a sneaky great matchup as well. Yeah, that's right. Guaranteed rate field. My bad. I keep forgetting. They change their names every other day. Hauser came over from the White Sox, so now he's getting a good run with the Rays here, and we all know how good Wu is, and this is another reason why I like the Mariners. Just another great pitcher that they have. Lauer, Glasnow, two first place teams here going for the rubber match. Actually, I think the Dodgers won the first two, so Blue Jays looking to take this one, and they send Glasnow. So now they've been able to send in a couple straight days. Shohei, Kershaw, Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow. This is what they want to see. Shota Imanaga, Sonny Gray in a classic Sunday night. Cubs-Cardinals matchup from St. Louis. The two aces of the staffs. I know that Matthew Boyd might be the ace this year for the Cubs, but Shota's the ace in spirituality. So Shota and Sonny Gray in a classic Birds on the bat versus the Cubbies matchup. So that is it for today. Those are the matchups. Thank you everybody for hanging with me again today on Sunday. Enjoy the games today. And we will be back on Monday talking about everything that happened today on Sunday. So appreciate you guys for hanging with me, and I'll see you all the same place tomorrow.